something I'm really passionate about is building romance with bottlenose dolphins. No, actually, the topic is empathy and acceptance and how it can free us in 12,582 ways. But I'm just going to focus on a couple of those ways that empathy and acceptance can free us. So I believe that the deepest or the beginning ways are within ourselves, where we accept ourselves, for example. Okay, so there are methods. I don't have time to go into all those, but they're pretty easy methods for looking inside yourself anytime a thing happens, anytime a feeling arises, like anger, fear, love, whatever those feelings might be. We can look and see, oh, well, here are my needs, my met or unmet needs that are creating these feelings to give us signals that I'm having some kind of problem. And whether it is a physical issue, physical pain, it's like, oh, I got to deal with that. I've got a need for health, or survival, or the needs like boredom, or feelings like boredom, or excitement, or anger. These all are just these signals, right? So when we practice accepting that, looking at that, then we can build a certain amount of self-acceptance where we start trusting ourselves. And when we trust ourselves, we start seeing the world more clearly. But backing up to acceptance, when we build that for ourselves, it reflects. And we start, I'm sure we've all heard this idea that when you have some criticism of somebody, you're pointing and judging, right? That it comes from something within that we are unsatisfied with. So what I'm talking about is starting with those issues in a very concrete way. Again, there are methods that are step by step. It's not like airy-fairy stuff, but back to acceptance. And when we start accepting ourselves and others, then the topic being how this frees us, right? Well, I think one of the ways this frees us is from, let's say, objects. Because we learn to very quickly and even automatically accept our place in a situation, right? Or Buddha would say desire, okay? We learn to let go of desire, and when it becomes automatic, we're cool with everything. Now, this doesn't stop us from being defensive or saying no. Acceptance, this is, I think, a common thing with acceptance. People think, oh, that means I gotta believe everything and say yes to everybody. No, I think it actually helps you, the opposite, it helps you see through people and their motives, because you spend so much time working on inside and seeing through what's there. Like, oh, I have this, what's causing that? And that inquiry builds the wisdom, builds the clarity, where then I've sort of become a lie detector, but I've been practicing this pretty intensely for 18 years, so it's not an instant thing. But my theory about that is if you spend more time in deeper conversations, so if let's say somebody's having some kind of issue, and they're a friend or whatever, you care about them, and so you're like, hey, what's going on? They're like, oh, this issue. Oh, well, and to me, I'm gonna be hyperbolic here with some super shallow, oh, well, let's get drunk and forget about it, or here's a reward, or oh, why'd you do that? Here's an attack. Whatever ways that are the more shallow ways might deal with something and even ignore it. Versus if you spend all that time instead delving deeper, oh, that happened. Were you feeling, really scared because you wanted more safety? No, actually, I was feeling angry because I wanted more respect. Oh, cool. So see how we can really learn more about each other on such deeper ways. And to me, so that's freeing ourselves from bad relationships. When you start seeing through everybody, but also you start accepting yourself, you're not going to be desperate for whatever comes along. So there's one other thing we can free ourselves from. We can free ourselves from ideas. And I think, Janet, was it? I was thinking about this But not as you were speaking, because I was totally listening to you. But yeah, that's. I'd like to stop there and take some questions.